This whole thing right here is made using 1 can of chickpeas, and I think it's going to be pretty important for your holidays. Might not change the way you would think about it entirely, but it's going to help. Let me show you how to make it. So the first thing that we need is 1 can of chickpeas. Now, you might think this is kind of silly because we're going to add them both together, but I'm going to drain the chickpeas, saving the liquid, and you have to see here, we don't have a full cup of liquid. For this recipe to work, I need 1 cup of liquid, so that's why I did it. Now we just need to add our chickpeas to a blender, add the extra liquid to the aquafaba. That's what the water inside chickpeas is called. That has a really cool property that allows it to emulsify and thicken when it cooks. It's kind of like almost like an egg binder. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, about a half tablespoon of mushroom seasoning. Then I'm going to add maybe about a teaspoon of some white vinegar. Now that we have the flavor components knocked down, we're just going to blend this up and it's going to get into like a nice creamy texture. And now all we have to do is just add the binder. For this one, it's going to be gluten. Now I'm going to add about a cup. I'm doing a heavy cup of gluten flour here. Now you could just, a cup will still work. And then we just need to blend this until it comes completely together. And I mean, literally, it's going to form into a solid dough ball. Now, if you've ever made seitan, which is what this is, you're going to notice that this one here is going to be very stretchy. It is a very loose gluten. Now, you need to move quick at this point. And I already have my stuffing made. I should have told you about that first. So let me tell you about the stuffing. That's what we're going to put inside this chickpea creation that we're making because stuffing goes great with the holidays. I mean, that was my holidays growing up. Now, for me, my mom always made stuffing from scratch, but I'm going to tell you one thing. These Arnold seasoned stuffing cubes are so easy to use and they're really good and they're plant-based, so win-win-win. So the first thing that we're going to do is just follow the instructions on the label. This stuff is easy. We're going to chop up about a cup of celery and onions. I'm going to do a little bit more celery because I kind of like the crunch in my stuffing. Then we're just going to get a cast iron skillet on the stove over a medium heat and we're going to melt some vegan butter. I'm using Mayoko's vegan butter. I love this stuff. It's so good. Then all we're going to do is just chop in our celery and onion, allow that to cook for about 5 minutes or so. Now on the bag here, it's calling for chicken broth, but we're absolutely not going to be using that. We're going to be using some mushroom seasoning broth. 2 cups of water with about a tablespoon of mushroom seasoning. Toss that into the skillet and bring that up to a boil. And then we're going to toss the stuffing mix into a bowl, pour the boiling onion celery mix over the stuffing mix, and then mix that up. That is it. Okay, so now back to the churkey. I have 2 bowls. I'm going to use kind of like as a mold to kind of start this off. I'm going to lightly oil the inside of the large bowl and the outside of the small bowl. And then I'm just going to kind of wrap the churkey around the small bowl and then press it into the big bowl. That's going to help me get kind of like as even as a sidewall as I can get. Now I'm just going to remove the inner bowl and we're just going to stuff it with the stuffing. Now I'm going to try to get as much in there as I can get, but I'm not going to get that entire bag. I'm going to probably get half of it, I'm going to say. Once it's completely stuffed in there, you feel good about it. Now we're just going to pull the sides over, wrap it around. It's almost like a dumpling, really, is what we're making here. But it's not going to taste like that. Now, I'm just going to drop the Le Creuset Dutch oven on the stove top with a little roasting insert, which I'm just going to use kind of like a steamer. We're going to fill that with water, get it on like a low heat. Now, while we're waiting for that to come up to a steam, I'm going to brush the churkey with a little bit of vegan butter, and then we're just going to drop that into the Dutch oven, cover it up, and allow it to steam for about 3 hours.
Which is plenty of time to tell you about today's sponsor, Casetify. Casetify is one of the world's most popular tech accessory brand. They make some of my favorite protective phone cases, and right now they're having their biggest sale of the year. Now, you might have seen me sporting some Casetify cases over on Instagram or in my stories, but they just sent me their new Bounce case, and I am stoked for this thing. 20% more protective, 6 times military standards, tests dropped 156 times. And it has a 21-foot drop protection, which is way more than my, 5'9". I mean, this thing's awesome. And they have over 2,000 designs available with customizations to make the cases feel truly yours, including work from over 300 artists around the world. And one of my favorite parts is that as of 2021, Casetify has collected and recycled over 51,000 used phone cases. I think that's incredible. So gang, check out Casetify's Bounce case. Click the link or head over to casetify.com/Saucestache for just like a little list that I curated of some cases and some other accessories as well. They have some pretty killer accessories for your phones. Really gonna dig. Keep your phone with you.
And we're back, so it's been about 3 hours. I just need to carefully remove this from the Dutch oven. You can see it's fully cooked, but it's still kind of like, it's still tender. It's a little puffed up, to be honest, and I don't want it to be that way. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna toss it back into its bowl, cover it up, and throw it in the fridge overnight. Okay, so I know that was a weird transition, but it's the next day. So we're gonna take our uncooked stuffing, toss it into a Dutch oven, and then add just a little bit of water to the bottom. Now we just need to add our rested churkey. Now I wanna brush it with just a little bit of vegan butter, and then we're gonna cover it with just a little bit of salt, pepper, and then some poultry seasoning. And then last, I just want to toss in a few sprigs of rosemary. Then what we're going to do is just cover it up, toss it in the oven, and bake it at 350 degrees for about 2 hours. Once you get to the very end, we're just going to open it up. You can see it's puffed way up. The skin looks really good. Now we're just going to brush it with a little bit more vegan butter. That's going to deflate this, which is exactly what I'm looking for. It's going to kind of form a skin around that really moist stuffing that's inside there. And then we're just going to cook it for about 15 more minutes. Once it's done, we're just going to pull out the churkey, pull out the stuffing. We can plate that up. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's interesting right now, but you'll see. So now let's use up all those spices at the bottom of the Dutch oven and make our gravy. This is gonna be easy. All we're gonna do is just add some more vegan butter and then an equal amount of flour. I did about 2 tablespoons of butter, so 2 tablespoons of flour. Whisk that together and allow that to brown. This is your roux. I wanna brown up a little bit of mushroom seasoning and nutritional yeast. If I didn't brown this up, our gravy would be yellow. Now, I'm gonna be using about 2 cups of Wonder Milk. I love that stuff. It's really good. And then all we're gonna do is just pour that in, whisk it up, and then just allow it to thicken up. Once you see it to start steam, it's gonna start just thickening as it goes. Now I'm gonna add about a half a teaspoon of salt and pepper, and then we're just gonna boat this up. And then that's it. Let's plate this up. I'm gonna slice our churkey in half. I mean, it looks pretty awesome, but it's gonna taste even better. I'm just gonna slice it into slices. This is the way I'm gonna plate it. You can plate it however you like. And then we're just gonna cover it in a little bit of that gravy. This is perfect. Now let's see what Monica has to say. I bet she's gonna love it.
I do love this. This is really good.
Wild, right? Mm-hmm. You give the churkey a bite. Here, I gave you the little end piece because I figured that'd be good. I mean, it's just so tender.
This is really good. It's got a nice, it's very tender. It's got a nice, bite to it. It's firm at the same time. And then I love, there's almost like a skin on it, too. Like a turkey skin.
Yeah.
Like when I say it's tender, it's not, soft. It doesn't, fall apart. It's
There's tons of texture.
Like turkey. Yeah.
It's like turkey.
And this is like stuffing.
Well, that is stuffing, I mean.
And I love the gravy. All of it's delicious.
I'm happy with this whole thing. It's entirely plant-based. I mean, we've tried all of the turkey alternatives, right?
It's hard to find one. I just got a little bit of this piece over here, which is kind of like all skin. That was really good.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm stoked about this. This is like one of my favorite things.
This is so good.
So this is gonna be great for the holidays coming up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being around. And if you make this for the holidays, sure, let me know. I'm over on the Instagram at the Saucestache guy. Hey, click the subscribe button. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. This turned out really good.